Hi, and welcome to our new edition of Your Schools. I'm Guy Scanzo, the very proud superintendent of Humble ISD, and unfortunately, I'm alone for this show. And I desperately miss the best co-host in the world, Lynn Fields, who is not able to be with us. So, Lynn, I miss you, and you better be back for our next show. We do have a great show for you this time around. It is Humble ISD Education Foundation Gala time, so we're going to want to meet some folks who are very instrumental in leading that extraordinarily fun activity. It is also Science Fair, Science and Engineering Fair time. We'll have some great guests to talk more about that. And the arts education, so important. We're going to have some of our young artists from one of our elementary schools join us, and we are in the midst. In fact, we're almost at the halfway mark of the 83rd Texas State Legislative Session. Lots happening there in Austin as it relates to education, and as it will make a difference one way or the other for all of the children in our community. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. I am glad that you have chosen to join us, and if you please stay with us, we'll get going in just 1 minute. Well, thanks for coming back. Now, the 83rd Texas Legislative Session is just about at the halfway mark. And one of the major education items that has been a part of this session and continues to be debated through the session is the state's testing program, STAR, and end of course exams. So we've got two of our locally very involved people and school board members with us. So welcome to Charles Cunningham, our school board president.
Thank you, Dr. Stons. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too, and I appreciate your being with us. Charles also chairs the board's legislative committee this year. And also board secretary, Robert Scarfo. Robert, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Dr. Scanzo. It's good to be here. Charles, good to see you again.
Well, thank you. And Robert, you need to know, is a member of the board's legislative committee. He chaired it 2 years ago when things were kind of rough in terms of all the state cuts, and I can tell you firsthand, Robert spent lots and lots of nights out talking with our community and making trips to Austin to try and impact the legislature. So we're back at it, about halfway through it. Testing, huge issue. Charles, let me start with you. So what are you hearing from parents, community members, in general about the state testing program and changes that folks want to see?
Well, Guy, what I'm hearing is it's just too many days of testing. And it's like we're teaching kids to the test. Nothing has changed, even with the implementation of new rules and guidelines. And so I'm hopeful that, from what I'm hearing, that's going to be addressed. And as the session is going on now, you know, we're back and forth up to Austin. You're talking to legislators, talking to other folks. We've got TASB on board with it, the Texas Association of Administrators. So we've got groups that are on board with what we are trying to accomplish, and that's find a balance between educating our children, getting them college ready or work ready with this testing that we're required to do.
And that balance is very, very important. Robert, recently you've made a presentation about the state testing program to a meeting of the Lake Houston Area Chamber of Commerce. Right. And so from your perspective as a trustee and someone who's really very, very involved with all of the legislative stuff in Austin, your take on the state testing program and what needs to change?
Well, we don't have 2 hours, but we'll try to condense. Really? But as Charles mentioned too, with the groups that are behind looking to have rational testing programs put in place, and it's not just from the academic world. It's also the Texas Workforce Commission, a lot of private sector, professional associations, because they realize that, yes, we do need to test, but I think we've kind of gotten to where the tests no longer is the means, it's almost become the end. And it's gotten out of hand. As Charles mentioned, the 38 days out of the 177 that we test, somewhere in the district, and this is going on all over the state, some group of students, some grade level is getting tested at 38 days out of the 177. That's over 20%. That's a fifth year of your calendar. And to do that, you just got to start to wonder, is that really where we're going and what we need to do? So, I mean, some of the changes, I think just personally, we really do need to refocus on career and technology curriculum and really make the effort there. And to do that, you have to emphasize that by making that part of the testing. And when they go to, like, say, a 4x4 where physics is part of it, why can't you substitute for students who are in that career path, why can't they substitute something appropriate as a science for physics? I'm just using that as an example, but that's where I think people just really get frustrated to say, like, what are you really trying to accomplish, and are you really accomplishing it?
Right.
That's,
right.
Yeah, great point. And I mean, great descriptors in terms of, needing a more rational system, needing a more balanced system. It's not like state tests are the only test that kids take.
Absolutely.
I mean, kids get exposed to all other kinds of testing: SAT, ACT, AP, IB.
SAT, all those tests.
just their testing in their class during a particular course of study. And you look at the excuse me, the National Assessment of Education Progress, and you have, out of the states that rank the top 10, 7 of them have no end-of-course exams for their high school students, and 3 of the other 3 only have 3. Texas, we have 15 that are required over the life of a high school student, and we rank 13. If we rank number 1, I'd say, okay, well, we're on to something here, but I don't know. I think 15's probably a bit excessive to put the kids through that, because I don't know that it's getting us to where we want it to be.
Yeah, very much the outlier.
It is.
Nationally.
And I want to add, too, you also have to look at the cost of testing. When we look back over, and I'm trying to remember what my number is, but I want to say it's 2002, the state has spent $1.1 billion in testing. So,
And that doesn't include what we spend as a district
No, that's true.
to administer
That's
in terms of resources and time.
That's exactly
You're
right.
Charles.
so yeah.
Yeah, and let me restate, it's billion with a B, not million. It's
1.2.
very, very extensive. Unfortunately, we don't have 2 hours because there's plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about. But you guys are so knowledgeable and so hands-on involved directly with state elected officials, and you made a difference 2 years ago. You're making a difference now. Really want to encourage everyone, go to the district website. They're going to show it on the screen here. You'll find right on the front page a link to our district legislative committee. Both Charles and Robert lead that group, and you need to be aware and you need to get involved. It does make a difference.
And as Charles always says, it's not just our district reps here that you need to contact. You should be contacting people across the state, because they're all involved in this, and you need to let them know how you feel, because they're your legislators too.
Very, very important, because we're fortunate. Our district rep gets it.
Dan gets it in spades, so yeah, absolutely.
That's good.
Representative Hubert, he's the greatest thing we have working for us in Austin. Charles, Robert, honor to serve with you guys. It really is, and to be able to call you friends.
Appreciate it.
To our entire community, you stay with us. We're going to be right back.